What's up, everybody? It's your girl, the Gransberry. It's week 13, and it's time for the Gransberry Chronicles weekly pick'em. I'm your girl, the Stadium Queen, the Gransberry. You know, all those fabulous things. And I'm here tonight with my boy, my co-host, D Jones. What's up, D Jones?
What's popping?
You know, Coach finds himself in a few entanglements every now and then, so he's not joining us right now. But if he feel like it, he'll let us know. That's how he do. He just spot in, spot out. You know, he is a referee. If y'all don't know that, right? And you know how referees been this season, so just go with that. I'm taking shots at him while he's not here. But we're not gonna stay on week 12 too long, but there's some things that I still want to highlight and talk about from week 12 before we move straight into week 13. And obviously we know the Panthers said goodbye to their coach, didn't give an opportunity to finish the season for Frank. But I think what's a more interesting statistic there is that the coaches keep getting let go. And the ownership hasn't even been in place that long. And not to get too deep into it, because there's so many different parameters there. He was one of the successful bids, with most of the process being that they didn't feel they had to vet him the same, because he was a partial owner to the Steelers, and he had already been through the vetting process to become that owner toward the Steelers group. And I think what got missed in all of this was, just because you have money to buy this, was starting to be a trend. Just because you have money to own teams doesn't necessarily mean you know how to run football organizations. And obviously, right, I don't own a team, so I'm not saying that I do. What I'm saying is the track record is proving that there's a little bit of an excessive power tripping, right? My team, my thing, my way.
Well, they
And
do.
that works that way in a lot of things, right? I do that often on the show. I'm like, look up, there's my name.
Yeah.
But in order to be successful and understand, how business works, right? You have to have deference and respect for your co-host, right? And you have to be able to work with the people that you put in place and trust their vision and see some of it through. Like, I think there's too much microwave team. And for that, a good statistic was, you have what, 4 quarterbacks that were drafted, right? That this year,
in the first round.
In the first round.
Okay.
And you got one on IR, right? One with a struggling team at the moment, and one doing well. So you have a 25% chance of.
And is our buddy starting now in Tennessee? He's not. He's
well,
started.
I think he is now.
Yeah. So,
but I'm saying that wasn't initially even the intention.
Yeah, he only got like two weeks, 2 games or something like that. 3
Correct.
games. Yeah.
And don't call Levis old buddy. But
well, I didn't want to say his name wrong, so that's why I was like,
I give you that.
I tried to say Levi, and Levis. I wanted you to say it because I knew you was gonna say it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And so you basically have 25% chance, if you look at it that way, of success in year one. And then just because someone peaks a little faster, then it becomes more pressure the other way. And the interesting conversation is, do you know if it would have been any different versus who you draft versus what you put in place? And we don't know. That's just way too many variables to decide.
Yeah.
But I just think that a lot of things don't make sense right now. And like I said, with ownership, you have to be careful about that. You don't get too or in a more simple term, don't show up to the basketball court with your ball and then pick a team. And because you don't like that the team not letting you do it your way, you remind them miss your ball and you go home with your ball. Like, at some point, you're not going to be playing a team sport because you keep taking the ball home.
But you can. When you own the ball, you can do it. It's just ends up being bad business.
Exactly. I mean, but you're gonna always be looking for a new court.
Well, I think the thing is, as an owner, you're gonna always be wasting money, and that's bad business. right?
Well,
So when you
that
got all
amount
that
of
debt,
money they have, obviously, it's not bothering them.
it doesn't bother you until it start compounding. If you make one bad investment, it's not a big deal. If you continuously make bad investments, we know that that's a bad deal. You know
Well,
what I'm saying? So
right, but I'll give you another viewpoint different from just that.
yeah,
I would say that the good part here is that eventually you upset your fan base. And your fan base is who will make you feel
for
those
sure,
investments differently.
for sure.
Because if you have the right amount of money to quote unquote spend in a sense of discretionary, it doesn't catch up with you as fast to stop doing it, right?
Yeah.
But if it becomes that it's nothing but a bragging moment for you and it's costing you, right? Not a write off, but costing you, then you have to start to assess what you can do, because it's easy to, have been an owner in the franchise like the Steelers, who've had a core group of ownership for years and family and the way they operate and do things.
Yeah.
And then now you move over to this, or you look at the shiny ownerships of Kraft with his own planes for his team, and Jerry Jones just a transitional, generational businessman of himself and his company. And you think, well, I can do it, I got money. And you forget you still have to relate and deal with people. Just because you put the coach in charge doesn't mean you're still not going to work together. And one thing I think most people don't know that we see a lot of unity even in the building right now that's in our face for our front office with the coaching.
Yeah, it matters.
I sit in the end zone where the team goes in after every game, and I see the owner and his wife, well, who's in charge, because we all know, Miss
It's my
McNair
mom.
is an owner, but still, Cal and his wife are standing there waiting on every single player to shake their hand, give them a high five on their way to the locker room, win or lose. That's trying to show a little bit more unity. They can stay in the suite. They can stop by the locker room later.
Sure.
They making an effort to get down there and be available and front and center. And it's different. It's not a moment of just so they can be seen, right? It's a moment of interaction, respect. And I see a lot of that two-way movement. And I think it's healthy. And I think it translates to your fandom, right?
Yeah.
You feel the commitment even without the wins. And when you can feel the commitment even without the wins, then the wins start to come and they become bonuses. That's how we feel right now. We feel like the wins are bonuses because we're seeing improvement.
We playing with
right?
house money now. Yeah, for sure.
So,
For sure.
hey.
And not to harp on this, we talked about the business side, but when you talk about the fandom part too, we as fans have been on the other side of this coin. We've been on the side that they're on, where it seems like your organization is in shambles from the top down, and then you lose that confidence, you lose that hope. And I think what's missing in Carolina with everything that you said is him missing the fact that this is the culture that he's building as a new owner, right? With the in and out, the no commitment to the coaches. Same thing that Cal was getting, roasted here in Houston with the Cully and the Lovey, one and done, in and out. Know who wants that job, who's going to want that, what type of culture is that, and then how fast it switched when he made the commitment to D'Amico, and we saw Cal's wife come and have a better, come and start changing the culture, and what we saw from Cal and how that interaction, kind of like what you said, she's with him, lockstep. She's kind of helped change that culture around, and then that's bringing fans back, because we was those fans that was like, what, I gave up my season tickets. I don't have to be here for this. I can go on the road and go see any game I want to see rather than give them my money. So yeah, I think that's the part, when you start saying, yeah, anybody can be a businessman, you got the money, you can throw at it, but it's so much more that goes into it. When you have to think about the culture of that organization and how it impacts the fans. And like you were saying earlier, when the fans start turning that dollar and switching it to something else, then things change away all together. So,
Well, want to give a shout out to Deshaun Jackson, who announced his retirement as an Eagle today. I enjoyed watching him play, and so I think it's a fine time to announce that as well. And, just speaking on that game from last week, the Eagles, when I say that game, you know, people all have their own definition of what is clutch. And I remember I stated that in a post, and someone was like, well, if he's clutch, why not win in regulation? And at the moment, clutch is doing whatever you need to do to win. So if you're down, clutch is getting caught up and putting yourself in a position for an opportunity to win. Clutch doesn't mean you're always winning. That's 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 not the definition of it.
Yeah.
There have been clutch moments by Stroud, and speaking with the Falcons game, we didn't win it. He was clutch, but we didn't win it. So there will be things. The Vikings, Dobbs may have had several turnovers, but he was clutch to get a score on the board to put him in the lead. He needed his defense to hold. So people should be careful of how they view clutch and disrespect the intent. The intent is when you're in the position to give your best, did you? And when he had the ball, he did what he had to do to win. And we all know it takes more than one person, but you still need that key person to be clutch.
For sure.
You got to make smart decisions with the ball,
For sure.
So I just want to say, I definitely believe they can win. And I think in the pick 'em, everybody did. Everybody picked them. I think everybody picked the same teams they didn't expect to win. We definitely didn't expect Green Bay to have such a good time on Thanksgiving, but we know somebody who was surely glad to see.
For sure.
Glad to see.
I didn't pick them. I'll tell you straight up, I ain't pick them, but I was so loving it. I was like, yeah, this the Detroit I know. This the Detroit I know. Seven Thanksgiving losses in a row, but they still having a great year. So I can't.
And Gonzalez, you know what? Shout out to you. You know I love you. Yeah, and you got a fair confusion, and it's me. It's all me, and it goes back to my name being up top. So I'm gonna stop and give respect to you for that about confusing you with Tuesday or Wednesdays. I was like trying to move to Tuesdays, and then it was putting too much tug and pull, and so it's gonna stay on Wednesdays. Okay, so if we don't do the show, we don't do it. But if we do it, it's Wednesdays. And so I apologize to my faithful because you come through strong. And yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. And so last week, Wednesday just didn't work. So I didn't try to force it at any other time. And so I left it alone. So Wednesday it is. So back on track with Wednesdays. So great comment. But yeah, so I'm truly glad about last week because I'm in first place. And I was hoping to get a little bit more on the point spread, but the Texans came up short. But I'm in first place in the pick 'em. I'm really enjoying this stretch. I don't even care. I'm always in first place, whether I'm in first place or not.
Here you go with that. Here you go with that.
I mean, in first place because I'm the only woman on the team, so I'm in first place.
Here you go with that.
I'm in first place. So to me, I never lose. I never lose.
We're getting breaking news now.
All right, Oville. All right. Brandon sent his picks. I'm gonna give D Jones a minute to wrap them all up and get so we can do the pick'ems out the way. And I want to talk about I have this amazing picture frame, and I got the idea from Derek. Derek received it as a gift, and it's basically the Pro Football Stadium Tour, and it's an amazing wall size picture frame with it's the entire United States, and then all of the teams are on there across the United States to show you've been to them. Now, of course, I've been to every single one, but I want to tell a story. And so what my plan is over the next, not December, next year, first quarter of the year, to start giving a story of each of those road trips as I add the pins on there. And so I actually have 31 stories because when I started my journey, there were still 31 stadiums. At the time, the Jets and of course the Giants would still do share the stadium, but the Rams and the Chargers were not sharing a stadium. So,
What about London though?
huh?
With London is still 31. Is that 32?
No, London is 32,
So
but because they play in different stadiums internationally, I just say that's my international game.
I feel you. Okay.
Yeah, because they keep changing. Because now we got Germany, like they keep moving the line,
Yeah, they got
and
so many different ones now. You do
yeah. So
Mexico,
for now, I'm good with
Italy.
saying it that way.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
But I think it's an amazing. I'm gonna post a picture about it later, so make sure you check the picture. I think it's pretty awesome setup. Yes, Frankfurt, but that just wasn't on my list. One of my colleagues, one of the agents I work with, he did. Shout out to Corey Williams, 13 years OSMG. He actually went out to Frankfurt, and he went to all the games in Germany because he had players play every week on the teams. So he turned it into a great time to see his players play. You ready yet to get them out the way, or you still need
Yeah,
a
we can do
second?
it.
All right, we're gonna knock out the way the teams and the picks for week 13 that we're not gonna talk about. The games we're not
All
gonna talk
right. So most of these we agree on. You and
about.
I agree on all of them. Brandon has one solo dolo. So we all
Okay.
agree Tennessee over Indy, the Chargers over New England, Detroit to beat New Orleans, Atlanta to beat the Jets, Pittsburgh to beat Arizona, Tampa Bay to beat Carolina, Miami over Washington, the Rams over Cleveland, Kansas City to beat Green Bay, and Brandon picks Cincinnati over Jacksonville. Me and you both picked Jacksonville. So he's
He
solo
just wants
dolo.
Jacksonville to lose, but
That's all it is. you you know that's what it is. You
oh
know that's what
man.
it is. So he
Okay.
taking chances again. He taking
Pretty much,
chances.
pretty
So yeah.
much. All right, first game up is Seattle versus Dallas. And Dallas is at home again. And I don't really have much to say other than shout out to Bland for breaking the record on pick sixes. And that's all I have to say about that. But I'm picking Dallas. It's not really much to say. They at home. They on a roll with the teams who are getting by, and they got one more as they say bye in the regular season games. So that's my pick.
Yeah, they rolling right now. So but Seattle's defense is been playing very well too. I think Gino has been struggling the last couple of weeks, but I think he may have a decent game now. The Bland story, I appreciate you. I think you sent me that because I didn't know all the back of his his coming up. So if anybody listening doesn't know his story, definitely check him out as far as his journey from even high school to college and getting drafted by the Cowboys. Very very interesting story, and it's great to see him have that type of success. But
So
yeah,
early on.
I think Dallas continued to roll here. They got a good momentum going, and as much as I know Oville probably hates to hear this, I think Dallas will win again this week.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm picking them. So did Brandon pick them too?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, the next game, not keeping it too long, is Texans versus Denver rolls into town. I know Denver's on the hot streak. Texans are desperate for a win. They, had a painful loss this past week. All their games lately have been one possession score, wins or losses for about what now? 5 weeks,
Yeah.
other than the Panthers game, because the Falcons game, um, the home games. Yeah, why are you frowning? The
No,
Bengals
no.
game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so I think they
What
get
you
back
said
on
about the
track.
You said other than the Panthers game?
Yeah, I
What you say?
said other than the
What?
Panthers.
Okay.
The Falcons game was a one-score game.
Panthers too.
We wasn't
That
in
was,
position to win though.
no, but we lost on the last second field goal. Same like
Yeah,
Atlanta.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
blacking that game out because we wasn't supposed to lose that game.
We wasn't supposed to, but it ended similar to the Atlanta game. CJ scored, put us on top. Defense gave a field goal at the end. They just
Fine.
had a little bit more time. They did have a little bit more time,
Okay, fine.
but yeah. But yeah.
Just keep bringing me down about it. But my point is they want to get back in the win column. Not sure what we do about the kicker situation. I don't think we've heard yet how that's going to play out.
Yeah,
So
they had a trial, but they haven't signed anybody else. They
well,
just
you
got
don't sign on today anyway. So it'll
today's first day
probably
of practice. You could.
is it Wednesday? You know what? I've been on vacation so long, I lost a day.
Yeah, it's not off day. Yeah, yeah.
All right, look. So, but you know, people always ask me if I'm going to attend games, and I love you dearly. For everybody who reaches out to me before a game to ask me, if you reach out, I will tell you where I can meet you, and we can take a picture or whatever if that's what you want to do. I do still do it. I'm not ignoring you. Just give me a second to get to the message. Honestly, I said I hate text. Everybody should know that by now. And so what usually happens is that's the same way I treat Messenger. It's still text, but I will get to you. And so, of course, I'm not going to announce where I sit on the show other than to say the end zone, but I will make amends to meet you if that's, you know, what you want. And I'm not being funny because Derek knows, like, I go and meet people. I'll come to your section if I think it's easier for me to move around and get to you, especially if you got kids or something with you. So I'm not speaking on hype of myself. I'm actually responding to people that have asked me. So those that are coming out to the Broncos game, I will be around. I will be available. So we're going to have a good time. And, you know, hopefully my guys can get back on track and get a win. And that's my take. I'm picking the Texans this week again. I felt good with my pick last week. And I think they didn't let me, they didn't let me down. We just didn't win. So I'm okay with that. D Jones.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. The Broncos coming in 5 in a row have been playing very well. I am worried. I can say worried. I'm concerned with how Russ is playing, how well Russ is playing as far as being decisive when to run, and taking those chances, taking advantage of those lanes. But I'm also encouraged by how the defense played last week against Trevor, because we know he can use his legs as well. So for the most part, the defense played pretty sound last week. I mean, they had some mistakes. That's gonna happen. But I think the Texans will come out this week, as Coach say, you know, a little, you know, motivated, extra motivated, and a little peed off about how things ended last week. But I think they do a good job of staying level, starting with number 7, not keeping the highs too high and the lows too low. So I think the Texans come out this week. They are favored at home by 3.5. I think they definitely win this game. It'll be good to have one that we don't have to, you know, go all the way to the last minute. But it is, as a fan, it's good to see people hanging out, you know, not giving up on the team. People are staying to that end of the game, which, you know, makes traffic hell getting out. But at the same time,
it's a parking lot party.
yeah, it's crazy. Although it wasn't too bad for me last week, but yeah, I think we get this done this week, and we're gonna get it done without having to depend on the last second field goal.
I like it. I like it.
Let's do
it. So, you know, Gonzalez has a question before we get to our last game. And since it involves teams in the last game, it's fitting. He says, who do you think will get the revenge win amongst the 3 NFC teams? Niners, Philly, and Dallas. Now, here's the thing that I'll say before we all answer that. I don't really consider Philly Dallas game a revenge game because you're division opponents and you're going to play twice a year. Those games are always gritty. They're just as gritty when Philly barely pulled out a win against the Commanders versus when they lost to the Commanders last year. That's not revenge. Now, obviously, Dallas didn't get their lick back when they played the 49ers. They forgot how to hit. So it's almost like the movie Fight Back. So they didn't fight back.
Pinch them or something.
So at this point, the only person eligible for a get back is the 49ers. So if they can go in this weekend to Philly and try to see if they can pull out, they get back, getting their quarterback the whole game this time or whatever. But, I personally, I think, based on everybody, look, there are 29 people in our Pick'em league. On average, about 21, 22 are playing. Everybody picked Philly. So for whatever it's worth, everybody felt like Philly was going to beat Buffalo. Now, I think some people in their mind would just hope for Philly to win because they didn't believe Philly was a stronger team. And when I kept saying my reasons for going with them is just what's the consistency. And if you see the different social media, you see the clips this week, they're playing more as of a team. I'm not saying the 49ers are not. I'm just saying what I've seen in the belief of how they're going to come together. And sometimes it gets that gritty. And when Philly played the Chiefs, I said the Chiefs going to lose. And everybody was kind of iffy. That's actually how I got back in first place because I was definite about my feelings about why I thought Philly could go into KC and win. And, I see the spread. I'm not oblivious. I see the defense for the 49ers. I'm not oblivious. I just think when you got a coldness to yourself, meaning you don't care who on the other side. You just coming out to play and ball. And I feel like that edge sits more with Philly. Because Philly's mindset for me is I'm coming out to play because the goal is to win. 49ers mindset is I'm coming for revenge. I think that's a little different. I'm coming to show that we really would have had this last year if this didn't happen. I don't think all that's necessary. I think come to play. They don't have to get hyped. Philly's mindset of the revenge, you know what their mindset of the revenge is? Win in Vegas. And you win every week to get you to Vegas. That's their mindset because they came up short. And so for me, it's kind of like that redemption year for Miami when they lost to the Mavs in the finals. And they got themselves together that next year and made a commitment. And nobody knew until the finals of the next year when they won it that they had made a replica of the trophy. And they had to touch that trophy every game to understand they didn't have it and feel it and understand you got to go get it. And I just feel like that, I don't care how many people you traded and put on the 49ers. I'm still going to pick Philly. And I don't care if Philly lose Sunday. I'm still going to pick Philly over the 49ers for the Super Bowl. That's me. So if they the NFC Championship matchup, you already know today I'm going to pick Philly. Absent some injury, I'm picking Philly. So that's my spiel on that because that's what I'm going to do.
Trying to go.
So, yeah, this is my thing. As Jalen say, rain, sleet, or snow, the Eagles train to go. So we kind of been chatting about this one already. We eagerly anticipating this one. With me, I'm leaning right now. My pick today on Wednesday is the 49ers because I think right now they're playing better ball, right? But as I said to you earlier, I think the weather is going to play. It could change my pick. Right now, as we look, it'll be chilly. It's not going to be super cold. No rain expected right now. Things can change, but I also think Philly being an underdog at a 10-1 record, the best record in the league right now. I think we're giving them the chip that they really don't need, right? We putting the chip on their shoulder, and them being at home is also a major important factor. So today, I think I'm going San Francisco, but this can definitely change before Sunday. Just mainly because of number one from H-Town over there, as he say, you feel me? Because this dude, when you was talking about clutch earlier, to me, one big part of clutch is he don't blink. This dude don't really show a lot of emotion, whether he's down or whether he's high. He just stayed ready. His preparation is immaculate. I saw another clip, and they was talking to him, and they was saying, how do you learn from all of, how do you keep going? How do you do this? And his answer was, by failure, by losing. Losing is how he get his growth. And I'm like, man, how can you not root for a cat like that? So I'm rooting for Jalen. I'm rooting for Philly to win this game, but I'm picking right now, just as I do with against some of my teams. I'm picking San Francisco just because they playing better. The defense is all together. The offense is what the offense does. I think they offense and defense travel very well, and if the weather is not an issue, I think this is going to be a dogfight. So. I know Coach is not here. He picked San Francisco as well, as you put up, but in Coach's honor, it's a field goal game to me. So this one is going to go down to the wire. Philly's going to have to sweat it out again, but I think San Francisco is going to win this
one. Okay. Well, shout out to Oville because he wants to give me my props about our meet with your family, talk to the kids. And the last part about telling the kids to suck it up. But yes, I will look out for y'all and get y'all going. So he said you preach. Wait, hold on. He was talking about me. And I start reading his other comment.
Yeah.
So let me take this one down. This comment is more dealing with me. If I see you at a game, I got much love for you on game day. But if you're seeing this message, then that means you can see me. But if I don't fool with you, then you're going to get I don't fool with you. And if I don't fool with you, because you probably ain't watching my show anyway.
The energy ain't going to change. Yeah.
I still not going to be fake. So if I don't fool with you,
for sure,
you could just pretend you don't see me, and I ain't gonna call you out on it.
For sure.
Okay, that's because game day is supposed to be the happiest day of the week.
Is it?
Yes.
I'm gonna remind you during the game and your text messages. I'm gonna remind
you. Keep house business in the house.
My bad, but I'm just gonna remind you. Be happy.
Okay. Yes, I'm gonna try to be happy.
No stress. Protect your peace.
I'm just saying, I always protect my peace.
Protect your
peace. Yeah, that's gonna be that. But anyway, I was laughing because Oville mentioned that you preached that thing and then you flipped it at the end.
Yeah. It was heavy. It was heavy on the Philly side, but I'm picking the 49ers.
And see, Oville get me. Some days not Disneyland, but game day still supposed to be, a happy place. And so
stressed. Coach, stressful.
I don't know what y'all talking about, but before we go, I got to give an extra shout out to my nephew with the DeSoto Eagles. They took a good win in San Antonio over the Thanksgiving holidays. They beat Willis, and this week they face one of their district rivals, Cedar Hill, in round 4 of the playoffs. And, it's a battle. It's definitely a battle when you got to play the same team twice in one season. It's a battle because it's win or go home. It's a battle because it's a district opponent, and they out for their revenge as we were talking about. So I'm looking forward to it, hoping the guys can put together another dominant game because they're probably the most underrated top team in Texas as it is right now. Of course, North Shore is big 6A.
Who underrated?
I'm sorry?
Who underrated? DeSoto?
Oh, you don't be in the groups just because they up. The teams feel like every team feels like we may have blown out the last team, but they're gonna blow us out this time. It's delusional, but it's how they come at us.
Oh, okay.
They the next okay. I'm gonna go with North Shore, Chris. Chris is asking me between North Shore and Atascocita. Y'all in the same position as DeSoto and Cedar Hill facing, district opponents. I just think North Shore, when I say got a bad deal, meaning, of course, last year they didn't expect to lose their quarterback. And so I just think they want to finish the job this year. And so it'll probably be North Shore and Duncanville, absent some weird set of, I don't even know what to say, because I don't wish that on any team. I just don't see what can stop either one of y'all from meeting back up again in
Anything can
Dallas.
happen. That's why you play the game. Anything can happen.
Miss Lou, you asking what was the score the last time they met? I'm thinking you're asking me about Cedar Hill and DeSoto, and it was 35-14 or 32-14. But yeah, that was the score. So, but you know, people look at scores and games look great. Like, last week the game was 31-65, but the last couple of touchdowns by Willis was scored when you'd already switched to your second string. And so same thing, Miss Lou, the game had got to a point where they had won, so everybody wasn't playing. But I think right now you got to put everybody out there till the scores is not in a position for them to catch back up. So that's my take. Y'all know I will be at the game because that's what I do. I'm stadium queen and definitely gonna keep my family first. And just grateful to be able to spend that time and see those games. So I'm looking forward more to Friday night than Sunday, only because I think I wear the Friday nights a little bit more on my sleeve than I do Sunday. Sunday I can take it on the chin, but Friday I think it's on my sleeves. So that's
my score was. You said it was 35-14
or 32, something like that.
35-13. You was on it.
Okay, 35-13. Okay, yeah. I knew they had two scores, and that was, two touchdowns for the most part, but I just couldn't remember what DeSoto actually finished with. But yeah, so that's what we are. But and things change since that game. We didn't have our star running back at that time.
That was the last time y'all scored under 40. I mean, that was October 20th. And since October 20th, you've only scored 49, 63, 50, 42, 65. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just
I like that.
I'm just throwing it out.
And thank you, Gonzalez. Yes, wish us well. And so my score for Sunday. So funny thing, Chris, I'm not big on scores. The guys will tell you. Yeah. I'm not big on picking scores, and I'm never big on at the beginning of the season picking divisions. They know, they'll tell you I'm anti-picking division. Like, I tell them they can have that segment
until we pick them, and then you wait until we start picking them and you weigh in on it though.
Yeah, I'll talk back, but I really don't have a pick. Because if you told me to pick where the Texans would finish in the division in August, theoretically, most people should have said last, right? Theoretically.
Yeah.
So they're a prime example of why, if there's consistency at QB at all four teams when the season starts, I think you can have that discussion. I just don't think you can when there's so much up and down. And because with Sunday's score, another reason is Denver's defense has been playing strong and our defense has been coming along better, right? And so I'm not really sure who gets to get away with it more, because we also know that Stroud's not about to rush. We don't need another game where he's the lead rusher. No. So no. Those numbers and stats don't prove to help us. But if you ask me to predict something, then I would be heavy to predict more of him passing for more than 250 yards than I would to be saying a score. And so that's,
I'll say 24-20.
24-20.
Yeah.
I don't want another close game. I'm not gonna lie to you. If we can find a Miami Dolphin offense against them this week and send them back into memory lane or something, I'm okay with it. We still ain't seen Noah Brown.
He practiced today.
Oh, see, I've been busy all day.
He practiced
all day.
He was back at practice today.
I like Brandon's score, but yeah. So yeah, I don't really have a score prediction. I'd be trying to guess so hard.
I'm straight guessing. It's just something I pulled out.
Well, honestly, on top of that, even in the pick'em, I hate having to pick the Monday night score and the Sunday night score, and those are for tiebreakers. I still can't find myself. You want me to determine if we're gonna get this many touchdowns or this many field goals? I'm just like, it's so random and you're so guessing. But if you ask me, do I think the Cowboys gonna blow out the Seahawks? Yes. I can say something like that, right?
Yeah. It ain't gonna be close.
So we definitely need him to turn the ball over, but I'm not gonna get too much. What?
He's talking about that score. What you was just talking about, the score on the pick'em. Yeah, we need to turn it off.
Can we turn it off? Well, we need it. We've ran into a situation where we've been tied for first place at least 3 weeks out of the season already.
We need both of them. Just do the most. Well, that's probably the score is probably a better tiebreaker because it's so random. So yeah, you're right. Okay, I just
pick better. You ain't got to worry about the tie.
Oh man. Oh.
That's all I got for you. Pick better. So with that in mind, I had an amazing night last night at season ticket holders field day for the Texans. Got me a nice photograph with Tank Dell, and not a selfie with a cell phone, not a picture with a cell phone, a nice printout picture that I can frame in full color thanks to the Texans. I think they did an excellent job on putting the event together. I love the way they set up the picture booth, especially when you don't have to try to get your camera, give it to someone. They literally printed you out a picture on the spot. And so I thought that was pretty cool. And shout out to Tank and Andre, and Jordan was there. And I said Singletary, right? Yeah. I mean, because, other than, Andre, was their day off. And to be there and try to let those fans get those pictures in was pretty cool. Brandon, I didn't wait for your name. Sorry. And Oville, y'all just too far down in the alphabet. But they did tell y'all happy holidays on the board. They put up every season ticket holder's last name. Obviously, when they put up Jones, it was probably 100 Jones that own season tickets, but your name was up there. But they had the Gransberry up there though, and they told me thank you.
They told you, D Jones, thank you too. Me and all my cousins.
It is. Yes, Chris, you were. I saw your pictures. I think you was with your daughter, right? If I'm not mistaken. So, and Brandon, I don't know why you really don't know what you're doing when you're trying to bring up Willa Ridge tea. People that know me not looking for Willa Ridge tea. It's really, really not a good look. Willa Ridge tea is more like raw and uncut, after dark beach attack. It just because middle school tea was nicknamed Tyson.
That's another day.
It's another day.
For another day.
And then Oville's is like, what about PV Tasha? Y'all just need to stick with the Stadium Queen and the Gransberry, because what she did was take all those Tashas and elevated some growth and maturity. And I think we all need to stay with the Stadium Queen, the Gransberry, because the Gransberry gonna still keep it real. But so the problem with the other Tashas is that y'all just it's not a good look.
I mean, they are on every level. It's a hustler, so that's all I can say.
Well, that's a fact. That's a fact. I think I hustled my way out of my mom's womb because I was early.
Yeah,
So
it's in
I've
you,
been
not on you.
hustling.
It's
I've
in
been
you.
hustling before there was a hustle. And I don't even like, I think we were taught the word hustle in that sense, like it's a bad thing or a dirty thing. I've just always been driven. That's
Okay.
what it is.
You can
And
call
I've
it
been
that.
driven, whether it's to get my point across, to get what I need to do,
Yeah.
or to put you in your place. I'm
Yeah.
driven to do any on any given day.
Okay. Okay. That's a good bow to put on that thing. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
so that's kind of where I am with that. And so I'm going to give y'all some happy notes, because in a different way, instead of me telling y'all what I don't want, I'm just going to always talk about what I like. And so that I'm allowed to do that. But if I do it this way, then nobody can say I'm insulting the other way. And that's excluding Leos. Leos are not real. It's a zodiac sign. I'm free to talk about a zodiac sign. But the untalls, I don't have anything else to say about y'all. I'm only gonna be concerned about what I like.
What you
Right.
call
And
the
so I don't care how
untall?
many statistics they put out in the world
The untalls.
about what's untall and tall. I'm good. And the happiest day is game day. So hopefully I see you Sunday or Friday and you're cheering for the white team. And so if you're watching the game on Friday online, I'll be on the sidelines because that's where I belong. So
Shout out Mac
until
10.
next
Shout out
time.
Mac 10.
Oh, and Mac 10. Yes, that would be my nephew, number 10. So yes, so excited about that. I can't stop smiling. Can you? Yeah, just already thinking about it because he's such an awesome kid. But I want to thank y'all for joining us tonight. We're not going to hold y'all. We appreciate you for stepping in. Brandon, like I said, he likes to give us his guest appearances when he can, and we appreciate him for it. And D Jones, tell the people where you at.
Oh yeah, you can find your boy on Twitter or TikTok, that boy D Jones, and then on Instagram, that boy D. Jones. Good week.
And I'm, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. I'm the Gransberry. That's it. That's me. And that's all. And you know what? How can I say this? Stop playing with my inbox.